Hey YouTube, it's Elaine. Good morning. It's Monday, the day after Mother's Day. I'm gonna try to make this really quick, just because I've shot this video about 5 or 6 different times from different angles, and have just I'm exhausted. Anyway, this is my studio, and I'm going to give you a little quick studio tour, but I also want to start with something to let you know. I have one last piece of artwork, original character portraits from the enslaved, to finish up, and hopefully I'll get that done in the next week or so. And then I won't be doing any for a while because I am working on my next project, which is called And the Coming of Nighttime. It is a sci-fi thriller, and it basically is a homegirl with a PhD in genetics is throwing down with a bunch of werewolves on the ass end of civilized space. And it is both a screenplay, which I'm about 2/3 of the way done, and it's going to also be a graphic novel. The book one of the graphic novel will hopefully be out by the end of the year. With that, I'm going to really quick go into a tour, as well as I'm going to show you around, and I'm going to talk quick about something that's kind of near to me, which is scammers. Watch out for the scammers. There are a lot of people, some of them through, unfortunately, official channels, who will tell you a bunch of shit. They'll sprinkle stardust in your eyes while blowing smoke up your ass and get you to believe that they can help you get to that next level, and they can't. They really can't. They will cost you time, and they will cost you money, and they will leave you and for the most part, they will leave you disappointed. And so be careful. And the way to know about them, the more they sit and talk about what the end product is and not what it takes to get there, the more likely they're scamming you. Or if they're telling you something that seems just a little too easy or too good to be true, they're probably scamming you. Okay, but with that, let me just show you around. This is my desk, and I have my studio set up. It's a 12 by 16, it's 16 feet by 12 feet. It is the dining room of my apartment, but my living room is 19 feet by 13 and a half feet, which allowed me to not only set up a place where my youngest could sit and watch TV, but I could get my dining table in there. So because of that, I've taken over the what is considered the dining room and turn it into a studio. So, and I've set up 3 different work areas. This is what I call my digital admin space. My laptop is here at my little desk. And for those who are talking about doing it on a dime, this desk that you see, I got that from Family Dollar. I think I paid $31 for it. I didn't pay a lot. Next to it is my janky old printer that only scans these days, does not print, but I keep it because, hello, at least I can use the scanner. And as you see, these are milk crates. These are milk crates I got a long time ago. They've kind of gone, 3 different places with me now. And, because when you run a business and you're doing things, you're going to generate a lot of paper. There's just no way about it unless you've got, terabytes and terabytes of storage. You're generating a lot of paper. And even if you've got terabytes of storage, guess what? You're still going to generate a lot of paper. So this is one of the places where I keep files, some books, trade paperbacks, and things that I've collected that are necessary. This is one of the places that I store them. This is a radiator, but I found it works as a lovely display place. Let me see if I can get you a little closer. That necklace, I made that. The Fokedama, I made that. That print is something a friend gave me. But this space is just a space I use to display things. This, I can't get you to it because there's all sorts of stuff. Let's see if I can get a better angle. You probably can't hear me. This is the C2E2 poster that I didn't get from C2E2. I got it on Free Comic Book Day because my local comic book shop had these because C2E2 gave them to them to give out and display. and I got it and I wanted it because it's a reminder of I went there. I was an exhibitor and I sold books. Yay! Anyway, this I love. I got that from the dollar store. It cost me $1 at Dollar Tree. But I sit there and it's a reminder. It's from the Tao. And basically, it's I forget exactly which of the Tao verses that it's from, but it's basically the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. I remind myself that every day when I feel like I'm not getting anywhere, I'm not doing anything. It's like, okay, let's try to get one thing done today. And today, working on this video. That's my one thing for today. So yeah, this is the admin station. This is my drafting table. It's where I sit and draw things. I do traditional sketches here, and my process is things that are digitally done. They usually start out with a hand sketch of some sort that is then scanned and put on a laptop, whereupon I may often come back here and sit and work. Again, in regards to those looking to save money, this is a Fujitsu Life book. It's a T7 something model. I can never remember exactly the number of it, but I got this used some years ago for $230 on eBay. And what I love about it is this flips around. You can do it from, hold on, I'll turn it. You can have this monitor at various angles depending, or you can lock it down and it becomes a tablet. It has its own Wacom pen, and I use this because instead of having to buy a computer and then a separate graphic tablet, this is perfect. It's got a Wacom pen, so that means I can do good work on it. And for $230, that's a saving of several thousand, because otherwise I would have to buy the laptop and then buy a graphic tablet. And I'm one of those people, I have to look at what I'm drawing. I have to look while I'm at the drawing that I'm making, drawing on a blank screen, drawing on something here, and then looking elsewhere to see it come about. My brain doesn't work that way. So having a display tablet, that's what I was trying to say, a display tablet that I could draw on and see it coming about as I'm working on it, is something that works for me. May not work for you, that's okay. I'm talking about what works for me. And this works for me. But to do that would normally cost quite a lot of money. That's quite the rig. And if you want something that's portable, I can take this to the library or to a coffee shop and work on it. In order to get something near like that, you would need Wacom's, their mobile studio. And, the one I wanted, it's 16 inches, is what? That's $3,500. I don't even know if they're making them anymore. But let's just say it's costly. Whereas this was, it was $70 for the Windows reconditioned, the version of Windows 7 that I got at the time for reconditioned computers, plus the $230, including the warranty for this. That's like $300. So $300 as opposed to the more than $3,000 I would have spent otherwise. Yeah, that's a better deal, And when I'm not drawing on it, hold on, it flips back around. I work on screenplays. I have this little stand. I actually got this little stand from the Dollar Tree. But when I'm in the middle of writing something, hold on. This is the best way to do it. Yeah, I wasn't prepared. Like I said, I've done about 4 or 5 different versions of this video. Not all from just showing things, but when I'm typing at the keyboard, this is my setup. Whatever I've written is there, because I always start with something that's been hand done, whether it's a screenplay, a short story, or whatnot. It's probably something I've written by hand. And then, yes, that was my youngest just going through. And then once I've got it, I sit down and I'm working at the keyboard, you know. But again, back to here, this is my station. No, I don't have a Rascog cart yet. I will be getting at least 2 later in the year, but right now I just don't have it. This drafting table, I love. It's not the world's best drafting table. It's not the world's fanciest drafting table. I got this from Wally World for like $80, and we had to build it. And I put the drawer in backwards. But you know what? It's still usable. I can sit here, I can draw, I can work, I can sit and write if I really want to. It's a place I can sit and work. I can also do macrame here. Along this wall by the window is my bits and bobs, odds and end bags and baskets. These are places that, this is where I store things that are too big to go elsewhere, but things that I'm planning to use for a later project, or supplies that just can't fit anywhere else. They tend to go here. And it looks a little junky, but the alternative is it could be spread on the floor. And yes, I've got plants. you know, what female artist in her studio, who's a YouTuber, doesn't have plants? This is one of my storage spaces. Again, milk crates. That's a cube my mom gave me. And these magazine holders are from the Dollar Tree. And they're a great place for holding things like watercolor markers, extra watercolors, pencils, palettes, and whatnot. These are just cans and things that I've collected, and I keep them because it's a great place to keep things like my paintbrushes, some odds and end pencils and markers that aren't part of any sets that I just need a place for them to be, as well as rulers, scissors, what have you. This is a bookcase. I keep a lot of books. I have a lot of books. I have my current, I think, is about 300 and something books. So this is one of the places that I keep a lot of my books, as well as, things I like, because when I see them, they give me a little giggle. Sorry about that jiggle there for a second. That's Mr. Scullyhead. Well, that's one of my Mr. Scullyheads. I like skulls. It's something my friend, sister from another planet, and I have in common. We both love skulls. And I love this. This little guy is from the Dollar Tree, and I had one that got broken a few years ago, and then last year I went back and they had them, and I got 2 because I love my skulls. And this is actually a skull that I just got from Walgreens, and I loved it because it's this sort of filigree pattern on this. I don't know if you can see it clearly, but it's this lovely filigree pattern, and it's hollow, and it was a glow in the dark, and I didn't want it to glow in the dark, so I got a Sharpie and went at that puppy with the Sharpie, and then found these black roses, which I'm going to get more of as soon as they get them out again at the Dollar Tree. And Mr. Crow up there is from Dollar Tree. And this little guy is from Dollar Tree, and he was that little greeny beige color, and I grabbed the Sharpie and had at, and and I'm not a minimalist, so you're not going to find that whole KonMari thing with me. But I did take from it that, keep the things around you that give you joy. And my creative space is things that give me joy. That no mask belonged to my abuela. And when she died, my uncle let me have it. And I love it because it sits on the wall. And whenever I feel uninspired or whatnot, I look up and I think of my abuela. And I think, if she were here and I went to her and I said, Abuelita, I'm feeling bored, I'm feeling depressed. She'd go, girl, get up off your ass and get some stuff done and quit whining. And then when you're finished, come over and we'll have ice cream. Because that's who she was. These are boxes because part of working on the enslaved, when you're working on a book, period, and you're publishing it, especially if you're self-publishing, you're ordering a lot of proof copies until you get it right. And I don't know anybody, unless you're paying people to do it for you. I don't know anybody who, when they're formatting a book, is going to get it right perfectly on the first time. And me and Amazon, boy, that would make a series of videos on its own. Going round and round with Amazon on this. But as a result, I ended up getting a lot of proof copies. And then I ordered the book, only to find out after ordering 50 copies, that guess what? I still needed to work on it. So I had to order 40 more. So as a result, I have boxes and boxes, except for this box. This box, my mom got me one of those Emerald Lagasse air fryer, deluxe air fryer things, and I don't have a place to put the box yet. So for the moment, it's living here. And this is my other bookshelf that I have in here. And because along with the writing and the drawing and painting, I also do micro macrame jewelry. Ooh, try saying that 3 times fast. And this is my signature piece. This took me 5 days, 10 hours a day to work on. It's $200. If you're interested, you can DM me if you really want it. I take PayPal and I do Zelle. But if you're interested, let me know. I might be willing to sell it. But this case I love because, yes, I do have some comics here, and I have some books that are on things like knot making and whatnot. And yes, I'm kind of into astrology, so that stuff is down there. But it's also a place where I have all my beads because trying to find a place to put all my beads really is very costly. Well, it's trying to store all that stuff can, if you don't have some sort of organization, can get a little, it can overrun you. So I just started collecting these jars. I use mushrooms in my cooking, and I found that these mushroom jars are great because they're just perfect for storing things like beads, So all my different little beads have little jars of different types that they sit in. And then I also have things like the glues that I use specifically, my tapestry needles that I use when I'm working on things. Because I also do weaving, but I have to get a new loom because the loom I made is falling apart. I have no skills for making an actual loom that is going to work and stay together. What can I say? This little guy I want to show because I found him and fell in love. I'm a big Fourth Doctor fan. I actually got to meet Mr. Tom Baker. And so I was out and hello, oh no, did I buy this one? No, this one was a gift. This one I got as a gift, that's right. I think Mr. Tom Baker was a gift. But either way, he's there. I love him. He sits there. He keeps all my stuff together, as well as my Alien versus Predator and Alien omnibuses, and more painting supplies. I don't have a ton of painting supplies and stuff. So I realized the smart thing, because I know there are some people, who have a ton of supplies, and those are usually things that they've collected over time. Um, I've got some things that were given to me. That set of koi watercolors was a birthday gift. These Kuritakis are ones I bought myself. And then these are watercolor pencils, and I've got a set of color pencils that go underneath there. I also have my acrylic inks. I don't have a lot, but if you ever watch the Frugal Crafter, Lindsay Relic, who does a lot of painting as well as crafting, she'll tell you that sometimes the best thing to do, especially when you're starting on a budget, start with the basics. And if you've got the basic colors, you can then use them to make other colors and create stuff. With my watercolors, the reason I have this particular set is it was on sale at Michael's for $5. And no, I don't use that brush because it's a crap brush. But the watercolors are good. This set is when it has the little sparkly in it, and this also was from Michael's for $5. These are watercolor markers, and I love these. These are Artist Lofts. In fact, all the watercolor stuff here is all Artist Loft stuff from Michael's. And when I was starting out, because I'd never done watercolor before. When I was in high school, I learned how to work in acrylics and some ink work and pencils, but I'd never, and charcoal, but I'd never done watercolor. So when I wanted to start painting again and start working in watercolors, I went to Michael's and I got the $5 stuff, because this way I could use that to make the mistakes and whatnot and learn different techniques, and then go buy a Kuretake set. And I bought myself the Kuretake set, and friends then bought me the koi. So, now when I start doing pieces that I actually want to make prints of and sell, I can use the good stuff. But when I'm just working on techniques and getting ideas or sketching, doodling around, this is where I go to. And I do have some acrylics, and they're in these little tins here, because it's easier to put them in there, because I didn't have anything. They're the big tubes. And so it was easier to put them in there. This is my third station. Yes, I'm kind of all over the place, but that's, some people's logic is linear, some is circular. I'm elliptical. But this is my little craft station. And again, about saving money, this is a table. It's a folding table. I bought it from Target and I spent $18 on it. But it's a great place for when I need, when I'm doing craft, I don't necessarily need the angle of, I'm doing a paper craft, so I don't need to work at my drafting table for it. Right now, I've got a painting that I'm working on. This is some of you, if you've been watching the videos, might recognize this lady. This is Jahan from The Enslaved. This is the traditional version of this. It's a multimedia piece, so it is it's acrylic ink, and then watercolor and colored pencils. And I will also be using some traditional inking on this as well when it's finally finished. But I'm doing this as a special piece for my beta readers. One special beta reader will get the original, and then the rest will get prints. Stupid Facebook. And then that's my kitchen on the other side there. And it doesn't have an outside window, so it's dark. But you don't need to see my kitchen. I've had this case, oh my goodness, I've had this case since my 20s. And I still use it because it's a great place to keep things especially like when I've got finished pieces, or in regards to that Canson, this particular pad doesn't fit in any of the storage cubes that I have, but it fits that case beautifully. That is actually a painting I did way back in the 80s and gave to a friend. And the paints have held up just fine, but the paper yellowed. And she's not a smoker. She doesn't hang out with a bunch of smokers. And so she asked if I would redo it for her. And I agreed. So this is the original. And I'm now trying to work out if I want to do it exactly like the original, or if I want to do something different. And the way it's going, I'm thinking I will probably end up doing something different. And then this is just a wall of things that give me joy, things I love. This particular little piece right here is from the Dollar Tree, and I love it because they make these sort of garden stones. They're $1 each, and they're sun and moon, and I'm collecting them, and I've got like 4. And I keep waiting for my Dollar Tree to get more of those. And yes, that's Elijah Wood. This is the picture that Viggo Mortensen took of him when they were doing Fellowship of the Ring. And I love that picture because it's so the young man at the beginning, when he's got all these possibilities in front of him, and trying to figure out where he should go next. I just love that picture. I think Viggo did the most amazing job of it. But basically, that's it. It's not, it's not a fancy space. It's not mucha money, but it's my space, and for everybody, that's the important thing. Your creative space is your creative space. And just remember, creativity is its own form of magic. You are taking base materials and making them something amazing. You are taking something from nothing, an idea. You're giving it shape and form and bringing it to life. You're manifesting. So for those of you in the creative community, whether you write, paint, dance, sing, you are magic. What we do is magic, and no matter what level you're working at, remember, if I can't tell you anything else, 1, remember that, and 2, and I'm going to end off, is remember this: the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So whatever you do, figure out what your single step is going to be today, and go step it. Okay? Now, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you're interested, hey, be nice if you could subscribe. If you don't know if you want to subscribe yet, come back for the next video. Watch the ones I've done before. Make up your mind, or just keep checking them out until you know you do. Other than that, have a good day. Take care of yourself. Take care of the ones around you. Don't forget, a smile costs you nothing. And kindness is its own reward. Take care. Talk to you later. Smooches. Bye.